and they really fucking matter. There's like 4 things that matter, and they really fucking matter. I mean, objectively, I mean, you should care, especially you, if you thought about it for 5 fucking minutes.
Welcome to episode 49 of the Outer Voices podcast. We are your hosts, Keem and Esme.
Yay!
This show is going to be a little different. We won't really be having a news segment.
We won't at all be having a news segment. There's no news.
Segment because our topic segment is going to be very long,
Yes.
but it's going to be super. We are discussing Black Panther and all the issues around it, and a bunch of other random shit that's going to come up. We're going to talk some Black history. We're going to talk some Black reality. We're going to talk all kind of shit. So
yeah, we have a special guest.
Getting there, Rico on the show. If you listen to us, he's been he's a part of Negro Terror, also known as Rico the acronym. We've had their music on the show before. Friend of ours, he's been a guest, and he's great.
Yep, he's pretty awesome. He fought through the flu that he is on the tail end of to talk with us today, which is awesome.
And guys, you're gonna enjoy this episode. Yeah. I'm just gonna let you. So and enjoy. This is a topic segment that I'm really excited about because we hyped it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Woo! We are going to talk about Black Panther and the movie and other random comic book stuff.
Black Panther. Sorry. I had to do it for the cartoon. I had to. I'm sorry.
Today we have our special guest, Rico, who is gracing us once again.
Yay!
Glad to be here, guys.
All right. Before we get into spoiler territory, because it's probably going to come fast.
Yeah.
All right.
It's spoiler alert for the whole fucking episode.
The whole episode.
So before we start, though, for our listeners who haven't seen the movie yet, the 2 people in the country who haven't seen it, from scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, what would you give it?
What, us?
Yeah.
Everybody gets a ranking.
Man. Because it's hard not to give it a 10 off the top, but you have to like get your film critic inside of you for a second, be like, well,
right.
Like personally, I thought the music was very Disney-esque, but I enjoyed it though. So fuck it, 9.5. Man, I can't.
Okay.
I can't do it.
I don't have an inner film critic. I don't have an inner film critic. I'm. Of course, I have only seen it once. Like you both have seen it several times, right?
Yeah, I've seen it twice.
I've only seen it once. I couldn't. It was sold out again yesterday, so I couldn't go back.
I know. I saw it twice. The trick is to go to the first showing of matinees. Matinees are not. They had the matinee full?
The matinees have been full since last Thursday.
You know what? That's awesome because now people are starting to wake up as to when to go to the damn movies.
Well, also, I'm having the issue, like the theater outside of my place, it's been a revolving door of children, like schools sending, like school buses full of kids every day.
Good. Let the kids see that shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
chill out, bro. You'll see it later, bro. You grow.
They just sent out an email at my school that there's going to be, they have a field trip going next Friday. There's like 30 kids that are going.
But yeah, Esme, what's your ranking?
I'm going to give it a 10
rating?
because I thought it was amazing. And also, I don't have an inner film critic because I don't watch films. So I need to go see it again just because. So I drove down and went and saw it with Keem's sister and her daughters. And so I had a 6-year-old like tapping me on the arm every 10 minutes to tell me what just happened in the movie. And I'm like, yeah, I know, sweetie. I just watched it too. Which was adorable, but kind of distracting.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm pretty sure she would have given the movie only 8 out of 10 because there was no black pandas.
She thought it was Black Panda. It was so cute.
Oh, that is the cutest shit in the world.
She's like, "Where's the panda?"
Oh my god, that doesn't get. But was this a little white girl? Please tell me yes.
No, it was Keem's niece.
Oh, word! I didn't even. That's even funnier.
Yeah.
Just.
Oh my god.
But my also heavy film critic on this one, but I'm gonna give it a 9.
Okay.
I have a few nitpicky Marvel things because they're Marvel things that.
Oh, that's right. You're a huge nerd.
Yeah.
Represent that nerd life, dog.
Yeah, nerd life.
I'm not nerdy enough to have. I'm not nerdy enough to be super critical of this movie. I don't know anything about it.
Here's the thing: you don't have to be like super nerdy to like for issues with it. You don't have to be super nerdy. You just have to have seen like more than 3 of these Marvel movies.
But I haven't.
Which you have.
I haven't.
That's not because you're not nerdy. It's because you don't see movies.
But I'm not familiar with the source material either.
Yeah, I think that kind of cuts her nerd card, dude. If she hasn't read the books or seen the movies, then she really has no idea what's going on.
True. But let's just be real. With Black Panther, besides the few black nerds out there and the few like uber white nerds, a lot of people don't know the source material.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just not my type of nerdiness. Like, I am nerdy in other ways. Thank you very much.
I suggest everyone that hasn't read the source material go out and get Black Panther, the complete collection, right here on your screen.
Spray it down with some Lysol, and I'll come borrow yours.
You know what? That's a good idea because I am sick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I'm bringing the can of Lysol home with me, and I'm just going to spray everything down in that stairwell. FYI.
Good move.
Yeah. Rico's right. If you haven't read the material, Black Panther is consistently good writing, like consistently good stuff. From Inception on, like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, they did that dirty on that one. As with other things, besides their sillier stuff. Also, shouts out to 2 Jewish guys writing a character that is an African king and the king of the most advanced society on the planet.
I mean, what else could they do? They had already created the X-Men. They had already created all these wonderful characters. And, of course, there was a scream, really, for a black superhero. And it's like, yeah, I guess they could have gone the way of, ex-drug dealer, ex-offender, or person that grew up in the hood or something like that. But they didn't. And I think they saw ahead of their time for a second. They were like, you know what? Instead of giving these people what they want to see, let's give them what they need to see.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially during the 60s.
And what a lot of people don't realize is, so Black Panther was not the first black superhero. There was two before, but he was the first solo black superhero.
Are we counting Black Vulcan?
Black Vulcan actually came after Black Panther.
That's what I thought. I was just making sure because a lot of people don't count him because he doesn't have a book because Hanna-Barbera created him. So
yeah, that was actually after Black Panther. Black Panther was created way earlier than people think.
I thought it was 64.
He was. Yeah, he was 63, 64.
Yeah.
as a he was created as a backup character in the Fantastic Four series.
Right.
And, interestingly enough, so at that time, just a little background on Black Panther for people who don't know, before we even go into the movie. So at that time, this was before really the X-Men were a thing. Actually, this was before, like during this time, there were no like really big superhero teams. Like the Justice Society over at DC had kind of fallen off. And really the Fantastic Four was like the premier super team at the time. And they were Marvel's first and only super team at the time. Like the Avengers were kind of just getting started, so they weren't that big either. So like Fantastic Four was the super team. They were the super family. And in Black Panther's premiere, he invites the Fantastic Four to Wakanda, a country of course no one knew about, and immediately puts them into a battle where he single-handedly defeats every single one of them.
Gangster.
Which is gangster. But like they were the premier superhero team at the time. And Human Torch, Ben Grimm, Sue Storm, Mr. Fantastic, and Mr. Fantastic was like, it was and it still is considered the smartest man in Marvel's universe. And you have Black Panther, this unknown guy, this unknown African king, comes in and just beats them all single-handedly as a test to see if they can help him with one of his problems.
That sounds pretty African. Yeah. They don't try you before they let you do shit. I know that just from hanging out with the Africans I hang out with. They ain't just going to call you for no reason. No, they're going to make sure they call you for the right reason. Should. That's
oh my God. But like that was unprecedented at the time. Like during the 60s, of like civil rights movement was like really kicking in, and then you have Marvel's premier superhero team getting their ass handed to them easily. It was something else. And a lot of people don't know. I mean, while we normally think of like Captain America and Iron Man as like universe, like heavy hitters and like the mainstays, and Spider-Man as the mainstays of Marvel's entire universe, Black Panther has also been one of like major figures of their universe. He's all like every event he's there. He's doing stuff. So like this character has a very, very like deep and seeming history. Also, random side note about regular history. The actual like real life Black Panthers actually drew some of the inspiration from Stokely Carmichael originally, and the Black Panthers out in LA when they first started actually drew some of their naming inspiration
from where?
From the comic book character.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
And after they became a political force, Marvel actually got a little scared. So they had a story arc where T'Challa changed his name to Black Leopard.
Yeah, he sure did, didn't he?
And he was just like, "This is stupid."
Wait. Was that T'Challa or was that his father?
That was him, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was him responding to. They actually had him responding to the like political stuff in America. It was like, maybe I need to be Black Leopard for a bit. And then it was just like, dumb. I'm gonna go back. And it was so funny to me when this movie was being advertised, and like, it had the alt-right quote, "This movie is racist because it's about the Black Panthers, because that's all they're doing." And I'm just thinking, well, if you knew any better, you know this character actually existed before the Black Panthers were in. Like,
that's a big if though when you're talking about the alt-right.
Mm-hmm.
if you knew.
Fucking all right. They were so pissed about this movie being anything, and oh my god, it doesn't have enough white people in it. Dude, nobody bitched about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Nobody's bitching about any of the other shit. Nobody bitched about the only black guy in 300 getting kicked down a goddamn hole. He was in the movie for like 5 fucking seconds. Nobody bitched about that. But as soon as Marvel wants to make some shit they didn't have under their belt for 50 fucking years, all of a sudden these motherfuckers want to get upset and it's racist. It's racist.
Yes. My favorite one is how can I be expected to invest in a character that doesn't look like me? Like, shut up, asshole.
Bitch, I saw Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Claw was in the movie.
Claw was right there. Martin Short looking ass is right there. Shit. I love Mary Poppins, and she don't look shit like me.
I know. Right? And every single one of these people, like all these like 30-something-year-olds complaining about this movie, and how can I be expected to relate to a character that doesn't look like me? All of them loved Finding Nemo when it came out. That's about a goddamn fish.
I mean, really, a fucking fish.
Like, if you can relate to a fish, you can relate to a black person.
I can hear him now. I understand fish. See, I go fishing. You understand? And see, I've been out in deep ocean fishing, and I understand how they think, okay? And I get it. I get it. I understand. I want to find Nemo, and I want to find Dory. Shit. Goddamn right.
You gotta remember, this is from the same society that thinks The Last of the Mohicans and The Last Samurai are movies starring Kevin Costner and Tom Cruise.
And the fucked up part is I like both of those movies.
That's okay. As a Korean guy, it hates both of those. Like, fuck, The Last Samurai is bad historically. Like,
it really is. It's so bad historically. If you look up, shit, it's just so bad.
It's like we don't know what. Like, our country has never seen guns before. Bullshit.
No, I found it funny in that movie specifically when the dude kept on talking about, oh yeah, this guy's the shit, man. You should hear him blabbering on in Blackfoot. You should see how many motherfucking Indians he killed. I'm like, so that's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it's gonna really be. Jesus.
Like, wow, that's amazing. But anyway, back to Black Panther.
Yes.
But yeah, we're actually into the movie. How about that?
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get there.
If you haven't guessed, the movie's badass.
It's amazing.
It's great. It has a great message that people are. It has a message, but it's pulling out 18 different messages from it. Insane.
Yeah,
it's true. It's a lot to take in if you're not already kind of on that wavelength mentally. It's a lot to come at you, and a lot of people are getting a lot of shit out of it. Like I'm loving these Team Killmonger motherfuckers. They are really getting on my nerves lately.
Team Killmonger versus Team T'Challa.
Yeah, I was like, no, go ahead.
Saying, but that's a sign that one, it's a good movie, and two, that's a good villain.
Yeah.
When you got people sitting back and going, you know what? I kind of sided with him. You know, you did something right with a villain.
Yeah. No, I've had whole conversations with my students about it. It's amazing. They're like, I kind of thought he was. I'm like, I know, right? It's amazing. These teenagers. What, Keem?
And you are. I said the whole movie for me. I was going, you are Killmonger, bro. You so close, man. You right there. But I'm just like, you close, and you fucked it. You messed it up. Goddamn.
Right. Like now, what the funny thing about Killmonger to me was that Killmonger reminded me of a lot of people I grew up around when I was in like my early formative years, like 4, 5, 6 and shit. Because I was in Atlanta, and Atlanta back in the early 90s was mad Pan-African. Like, if you wasn't a musician, you was with like the Pan-African. Plus, it was like a part of the style back then. And I happened to be around a lot of black people that were mad revolutionary ex-Panthers and shit. People that wanted to be Panthers never got a chance to be. And I would hear stuff like this regularly. Like, we need to take over. We need to rise up. La, 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 this and that. And, you know, of course, as a child, you're like, you just go with whatever moms are saying. So moms are saying rise up, you say rise up too. But then you grow up and you go, maybe that wasn't the best idea. Like, let's think about this a little bit more. Like, the idea, what Killmonger wanted to do, I was telling somebody this earlier today, what he wanted to do would have been perfect in like 1776. Like right around, you know, the creation of our country, right around, I forgot when the Haitian Revolution was, but right around any time between then would have been the perfect time, if, you know, fictionally, of course, for Wakanda to help out the black race in America. You get to 2018, man. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Not helping Black America or the black people around the world. I don't want people to get me fucked up. But you and I, we all know what happens when stupid people get weapons that they don't know how to control.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Killmonger's so he's so appetizing to especially black folk. He is black rage personified.
Absolutely.
Personified. He's like all the shit we've gone through as a people around the globe.
Mm-hmm.
More specifically, from, you know, African slave trade, like all the shit we've gone through. Like I said, there are like this is like anger of sentence of the West African slave traders who've gone through all that stuff, and like you feel disconnected. You're angry at what's happening to you, what has happened to you. But like once again, that's why it's hard not to side. It's hard not to be with Killmonger. It's like,
when he was explaining to the museum lady why she was fucked up and why he was finna take that, and then she started like kind of like having chest, you know, and all of a sudden he was like, "You've been having all these people looking at me the whole time since I walked in here, and you ain't even looking at what you putting in your body." That I like stood up and applauded. I was like, "Yes, yes." That is for every time I've been in a store, or I've been in the mall, or I've been somewhere and I got followed around because they didn't think I had any money. Then I go somewhere and I ball out for no reason. Then I end up taking it back because I shouldn't have spent that much damn money in the first place. But you know what's up.
I mean, and I know Ryan Coogler, like, he meant it that way. I mean, I've seen some of his other work. I mean, that's this type of stuff he does. But man, that phrases that what he said to her was so loaded. Like,
yeah,
because if you think about American history, man, there are so many things that society has done in fear of black people, especially once again after the Haitian Revolution.
Cough, the NRA.
They've done so many things in fear of black people that they didn't realize what the fuck they were doing to themselves.
Yeah.
Like going back to like you saying the NRA and what's happening now. Like this is like the growth of the NRA is a direct response from black fears.
Yeah.
People wanted weapons not because they wanted to confront the government and protect themselves. They were afraid of black people.
Yeah. But I mean, like, see also all of conservative politics in America right now.
Yeah.
I mean, conservative politics in America right now is a bunch of like middle and lower middle class white and like working class white people doing a lot of shit that's really bad for them just to make sure that the government doesn't accidentally help some black people.
Right.
And that's exactly what it is. Because when it was black men on the street carrying rifles openly, there was a problem all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, that's scary. It's almost like they're coming up. And of course, that had a lot to do with the bullshit scare of communism and the Cold War and all that other shit. But you break it down, at the end of the day, even without the Cold War, had you had brothers, lining up military style, getting together, organizing, carrying rifles like that, they would have did the exact same shit. Mm-hmm. The exact same shit. And that's the only reason why today people aren't calling for the gun control the conservatives aren't calling for the gun control they called for in the 70s.
Yeah.
Now they want to be able to do everything, and every time somebody just lets loose and kills a whole bunch of people, that's just, that was that one crazy dude.
Yeah.
That was that one crazy guy. It's not going to happen anymore, and then it keeps fucking happening.
Yeah.
I mean, we even go further than like the guns debate. Man, the war on drugs. The war on drugs is.
Don't even get me started on the war on drugs.
Yeah, and what I had in mind was welfare, right? Like all these people would benefit from this, except they are all against it because they perceive that black people benefit from it the most.
And we don't. That's the funny part.
That's not even true. But that's what they tell. That's what they tell themselves, and so they are against it. And I'm just like, the fuck are you thinking?
There were so many there were so many lines like that in the movie that just seemed like good lines in the movie. But they draw back so many things.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons why, once again, I really like that movie because Marvel's known for their superhero movies. Mm-hmm. That's what they're known for. Those movies don't have to be that,
Marvel didn't have to be as deep with Black Panther as they were. And some people go, well, how is it deep? How is it deep? I think unless you can honestly attempt to see Black Panther through the eyes of a black male or a black female. Actually, no, specifically a black female. If you can try to even think about, fathom seeing Black Panther through the eyes of a black female, then you'll understand how deep it actually was and how important it actually was.
I think Marvel did that on purpose because Marvel made sure that the movie could only be really understood through a black lens, and they had black audiences bring in the rest of society.
Yep.
But black audiences came in, they're so excited, they're hyping it up, and people who would not have come in to see it. They were like, let's see what all the black people are so hyped about. And they went into those movies with black people.
I mean, because everything we do is the shit. Think about it, man. We've had a history of people doing that, from jazz to fucking, fashion, fucking the music industry. And it was honestly the perfect marketing scheme. Go Marvel. That was perfect.
They had the black audience. They had the black audience sell it to everybody else.
Yep.
In there, they taught them something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, applause. But yeah, like that movie has a lot of stuff in it. That really said, and before we go, like, we're still talking about stuff, man, black women in this movie.
Woo!
I was so glad I got to go see that with the girls. I'm so glad.
Please speak on it from a female perspective, because I haven't talked to any women about this movie yet.
This movie is fucking incredible, right? For one, like well before it came out, there was an interview that they did with the woman who did all of the costumes for the movie. And they asked her for some reason, because this is the kind of stupid question that people ask about women in movies. They're like, so, what are the women's outfits like? And she goes, well, I started with flat shoes because for some reason, men keep putting women in superhero movies in high heels, and you can't kick anybody's ass in high heels.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, that is exactly right.
Now I do know a couple of strippers that will argue that point, but
no,
I
like,
think
okay,
on the
no,
whole,
it's
she
not
was
a-
right. She was
right. No, like I fully believe it's possible to kick somebody's ass in high heels, but it's also it's way easier to run in flat shoes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like everything you can do in high heels, you could probably do better in flat shoes. But no, I was just really, really excited. I drove down to Oxford and went and saw this, like I said, with Keem's sister and her daughters who were 6 and 9. Is that right, Keem?
6 and 9.
Yeah, 6 and 9. And it was fucking incredible. And I sat next to the younger one. And like I said, she kept tapping me every 5 minutes to like recap for me what had happened. And I'm like, yeah, I know, sweetie. I'm watching the same movie you are. We're good. And then I was I need to have a conversation with her at some point. Cause at one point toward the very end, she leaned over to me. The 6-year-old leaned over to me and she goes, so wait, he wanted to be buried in the ocean. And I'm like, yes. And she goes, why? And I'm like, this needs a follow-up conversation.
You know what? I think moms need to go ahead and explain that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hey, girl, your daughter needs to know this.
Yeah.
Because that was a deep,
yeah,
deep scene.
And
I cried. I teared up. I came from.
In this scenario, I already know who's going to have this conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Yep, that is true. That is true. But yeah, I was so excited to go see that with those two girls because they were hyped. They were hyped about it. It was awesome. Of course, Kayla was mostly excited because she thought there was going to be pandas. But
let's just take a second to think. What would a black panda look like?
I know.
Would it just be like a negative version of a regular panda?
I don't know.
Just because that's just a wonderful idea. Just a black panda.
Yeah.
That's the sequel to Black Panther, Black Panda.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's actually secret society in China.
Oh, and it'll star the guy from The Last Dragon. We'll get Ty-Mok, bro. Yes, he could be the Black Panther. I'm telling you, that is a hit. Marvel, listen to us, bro. We got you next. We got the next big one for you. You put Ty-Mok in a movie, it's over. It's over. Black America will almost I don't even know if they can top what they did for Black Panther, but they will. I'm telling you.
By the way, at Comic-Con, and it was awesome.
Wait, what?
So what?
I saw Ty-Mok at Comic-Con last year.
Oh yeah. You said you got to talk to him?
I got to talk for like a second. I mean, there were 1,000 other people there, but
Right.
that's cool.
That's dope.
Anyway, back to the black women.
Yeah.
I saw Wonder Woman. Saw Wonder Woman, and I felt like the women presented in this movie felt like what the women presented in Wonder Woman should have felt like.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wonder Woman, they still very much sexualized them,
Mm-hmm.
and they had Diana in particular fall back into those standard quote unquote Hollywood women tropes of like they had her falling in love with the guy she just met, and she does the fighting, he makes the whole sacrifice, and she does everything for him and all that stuff.
Right. She goes into hiding because of the loss and blah blah blah.
In this movie, you don't have any of that. Like, these women are warriors. They fight for their country.
Yeah.
They fight for what they think is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, as much as people like they were like, "Ooh," in the theater when.
Hey, we lost you. We lost you.
We lost you.
Wait for that siren to stop.
Oh, is that me?
No,
that's a siren over here.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's a siren over here. Let me like cover up my mic or something.
Okay.
Where is the mic on my computer?
I don't know.
Hold up.
Yeah, what the hell has been going on in the neighborhood lately? Jesus, it's been sirens all morning. Oh, wow.
You know there's a firehouse like right down the street, right?
I know, but this like last night and today is the loudest it's been.
No, last night the motherfuckers next door tried to damn near burn down their house.
Oh.
No, like the apartments right next to us, like the very end apartment.
Oh.
I saw smoke coming out. I'm like, oh my
shit.
And so I'm listening to the fire department dude because I'm sneaky like that. And here we go again. And I'm like, and everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. He's like, oh yeah, they just left a pot on the stove too long. I'm like, oh my God, y'all, I can't deal with this. I can't find another $400 apartment, y'all.
I know.
Come on. I can't do this because the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, get the equipment, get the music equipment, get the comics, get the clothes.
Yeah. I would have just died. I didn't even know.
I mean, they pulled up quick, but it was just like too much though for a fucking pot because it was like 2 fire trucks pulled up.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, y'all?
Jeez.
Do we have Keem back? Oh, there you are.
So what I was saying was the part in the movie, a lot of people in the crowd had a problem with it, but when T'Challa was tossed over the waterfall and Killmonger was king at the time, and I can't remember her name now. The woman from The Walking Dead's character.
That is not helpful.
Okoye?
Yeah, Okoye.
Yeah.
When Nakia was like, okay, we're getting out of here. We're taking the Queen and Shuri, and we're leaving. Come with us. She was just like, no. It's like I love y'all and support y'all, but I fight for Wakanda. It doesn't matter who's on the throne. I'm here to serve.
Yeah.
And that was a really awesome thing to see.
Like showing that, I mean, she stuck to her convictions. And even when T'Challa came back, the realization, like, it wasn't even just like, oh, he's back, let's fight for him. It was the realization that, well, it wasn't over.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he didn't die, he didn't submit. The ritual wasn't over. He's still king.
Yeah.
Right. Not to mention that this shows, yet again, another one of those real small things that people wouldn't even pick up on. This shows you a woman who can love, but also put that shit aside for what's more important.
Yeah.
Because, there's the whole scene where, dude's charging at her with the rhinoceros. The rhinoceros stops because, she like helped raise it or whatever, and homeboys are man or whatever. And, dude asks her, would you kill me, my love? And she's like, for Wakanda? Psh, no question.
Yeah.
Boom, puts the spear on him. And it's like, usually when you see women, yet again, like Wonder Woman, when you see women in these movies, their emotions will take over them. And their emotions will blind them from doing, and you're thinking to yourself, damn, if she hadn't been so damn emotional, this would have happened or that would have happened.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect idea of someone's emotions not fucking with it. And even at the end, when T'Challa finally breaks down, he's like, Nakia, I think I have a way for you to do what you want to do out in the world and still be queen of Wakanda. Mm-hmm. And you see more of a male emotional response, like super emotional response, than you do out of the females. And that's something that I really enjoy because we're never seen as emotional beings, black men.
I'll even say, so one of the questions that has arisen with that movie was when, what was it, Wakabi? Yeah. Scene with the rhino. What made him stand down after that? oh, that's love what made it stand down. I care to disagree.
Me too. He had no choice.
What made him stand down was respect and fear, because he knew, like, when that rhino was charging at her, he was riding that. So he was ready to take her out.
Yep.
Out. When the role came down to it, and she was just like, if I have to kill you, I will. It wasn't love that made him go, okay, I'm dropping it. It was, she's going to fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's so funny because the first time I saw it, I had the same idea. I was like, okay, maybe he finally just snapped to his senses and he loved her and blah. Then I was like, wait a second. He was done anyway. Like, first of all, the Dora Milaje is trained way tougher and way harder than that branch of the Wakandan security force is. So, and she's got you at spear point.
Yeah.
She's got you at spear point. You can't go nowhere. You're done. If you want to talk shit, and then you won't have a throat no more. So, cool.
I loved it. I love the women in this movie. And so I also love the little jab at European beauty standards. That a wig, she was just like, get this off of me.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as we get this, the better, because this is not how this is not how I'm supposed to be. I want it gone.
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious. As soon as she got the first opportunity to take that motherfucker off, she took it off immediately.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like so many great. Oh man. The women.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about Angela Bassett playing a better Storm than any Storm that we got in all the X-Men movies, and she wasn't even Storm?
Right? Like, how the hell did they make Angela Bassett look like Storm? And part of me was like, maybe I'm thinking it's the accent mixed with white hair, mixed with just Angela Bassett's feet. Like, she should have been Storm off the top. Yeah. But we got Halle Berry, and that's cool because Halle Berry was all right. I liked Halle Berry as Storm. So I didn't like her as Catwoman worth a damn, but because that was garbage. I'm sorry. When people bring that up on the list of black superhero movies, I'm like, why? Shut the fuck up. We don't want to remember that shit.
I have opinions on Halle Berry as Storm because in the first movie she had a weird accent. It wasn't African. It was just weird. And then in the other movie, she just forgot the accent existed and she was just Halle Berry.
I think that had a lot to do with the writers, though. The writers and the directors.
She forget she was African for a second? What?
No, she assimilated.
Those movies gave us the stupidest line in all comic book movies. What happens when a toe gets struck by lightning? Same thing that happens to everything else. That's the dumbest shit.
It was funny, though, if you're like 9.
Cool ass one-liner, and you sit back and going, "The fuck, really?"
I mean, let's just be real. Let's just be glad we got the damn movie. Like, I was happy as hell just to see an X-Men movie. I freaked out. I was so happy. I was, and it's not cheesy either. Like, it brought me to the idea of superhero movies didn't have to look like they did in the comics.
See, I had one before that made me go, but this is because I was into Blade before Blade was in the movies.
Okay. See, I had no idea what Blade was until it came out in movies.
Yeah. So, like, me seeing Blade was the first time for me going, oh, so they don't have to be exactly what they are in the comics.
That makes sense.
Also, side note, since we're talking about Black Panther, the original Black Panther movie was planned in the 90s after Blade.
Yep.
And it's supposed to have starred Wesley Snipes.
Which I'm kind of glad it didn't happen.
I'm real glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, I can't see, honestly, when it comes to anything in the Marvel Universe, I can't see Wesley doing shit but Blade. Because he played Blade to the T. It was just like, he was such a good-ass Blade. Like, I started reading the Blade comics recently, and I'm like, yep, I can hear Wesley Snipes saying all this shit.
Though, I will say, the only thing that would have been cool about a Black Panther movie in the 90s would have been if the characters were still the same, they were going to use them, then there would have been no other person to play Killmonger but Tupac.
Ooh, you're right. Oh, that would have been so amazing. Because that's all I was thinking about after the movie. Like, because I'm not shitting on Michael B. Jordan. I love his acting. I loved him in Fruitvale Station. I actually visited Fruitvale Station because of seeing that movie. I was like, I want to see what this neighborhood's like. And it's not horrible. It's Oakland, so whatever. But but no, Michael B. Jordan had a great idea. But I kept thinking, oh my God, if Pac was still alive, because it wouldn't have been Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. It'd have been Tupac Shakur is Tupac Shakur as a comic book character. Like, that's what that would have been, because that was like some shit. That was the shit he was always talking about in the early 90s. And that would have been the real problem, because you think people are talking about Team Killmonger now. T'Challa would not have been the good guy in that movie. He would have lost. Different. Oh my God. No, I'll tell you what would really happen, because I think certain movies are allowed to come out at certain times for certain reasons. And had Black Panther come out back then with all the social upheaval going on, and that was back when niggas were still rioting and shit, when shit would go down in the world and we would fucking burn shit up. Like, outside of Ferguson, of course. But I stuff like that would have sparked you would have had kind of like a 60s, 70s-esque mindset pop back in, but then you would have had it with these little gangsta-ass kids. Uh-huh. And so when you turn little gangsta-ass kids into little revolutionaries, you got a war, because they know how to shoot, and they know how to use the guns, and they don't mind killing. You dig what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, we got a whole lot of people that like to talk nowadays. We got a whole lot of people that love to get on Facebook and, I'm an activist and this and that. And they get on, they go to little marches and they get on TV and shit. Half of them end up becoming politicians. The other half just sit at the house and bitch and moan about shit they don't actually do anything to help about. So, now it wouldn't be a dangerous time for a movie like Black Panther. In fact, it'd be a perfect time to go ahead and just, toss in a little bit more confusion, just a smidge. Right. But you do that shit in the early 90s, man, we might have had a different America.
Most definitely.
Like, I'll just be real with it. And people want to say, oh, no, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a movie. Dude, the first movie was called Birth of a Nation. And it literally was the reason the Klan had a resurgence. The first feature film ever. It was shown at the White House. The Klan was the Klan was in the backwoods until that movie came out. And then all of a sudden it became cool for the Klan to march on Washington. And the president be like, whatever. It's just the Klan. They're not going to do anything.
People don't realize and they do the same thing with politics too. But people don't realize that pop culture shapes how we think.
Absolutely.
Like, all people going, well, I don't see why y'all getting so excited. It's just a movie. It's just a movie. It's not. Because this is... Well, I was talking to another friend about this. Black Panther, this has been one of the few times in recent history where a blockbuster, not just a little side movie that ain't expecting to make a lot of money, this is where a mainstream blockbuster movie out that is 90% black and has black people in roles that aren't stereotypical.
Yep. And people just refuse to want to, I guess, see the importance of that. Like, I hated the people that were like, well, y'all didn't show up to Birth of a Nation, like the second Birth of a Nation, not, the other one. Y'all didn't show up to Birth of a Nation like that. Y'all didn't show up to such and such like that. It's like, yeah, because I've seen a million fucking slave movies. I've seen them all.
Just a side note for all the folks that y'all didn't show up to Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation wasn't good. I seen it. Like, he tried. I give him points for trying it. Besides him, like the director and writer being kind of an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
He tried. Was not good. Like, if you want to learn about Nat Turner, there are better documentaries on Nat Turner.
There are way better documentaries, way better books. That movie was just an expression of black anger, is what that was. Truly. And that's just what I think. And that's not to say that it wasn't justified. But you can't sit here and expect people. That's like expecting every Memphian to go to the National Civil Rights Museum. Like, no, I'm tired of seeing that big-ass gravestone. Sorry. Because that's exactly what it is. No offense to Martin Luther King Jr. or anybody else that died in the 60s for, trying to fight for us, or any of our leaders that they killed, because they killed them all. But, I'm tired of going to that big-ass gravestone, seeing that fucking wreath and seeing them two damn cars. I know what happened. I've had to experience that shit in my own life now. Outside of Jim Crow and segregation and shit, I've been fucked with and everything. I don't need to see that shit no more. I want to see some good shit.
I've been about this all because we've been talking about this all Black History Month on the show. But our history should not be seen as a lament. And I think that's what a lot of people want to be seen. They want to be seen as like a lament. Like, this, look at all the bad stuff. It's just all sadness and suffering and whatever. And I think that's what people want it to be.
Honestly, okay, all right. Honestly, I think that you keep putting these movies out, and it keeps giving people excuses not to achieve higher shit.
Right. Because they are. I don't know. Did we lose?
No, I'm still here. Yeah, I think
we lost Esme though.
No, I'm here. I'm just letting you guys have this conversation.
No, you were gone on my. Like, you were completely gone on my screen.
Yeah, your screen is fucked up. I'm still here.
No, it's like, yeah, they don't want to see us in, like, see black people in roles. And like that's another thing that I liked about Killmonger. While he's a representation of black rage, he's also a representation of black Americans in general. And while he recognizes the real messed up history and stuff, he's not lamenting it. He's trying to do something about it. And he saw what was happening and said, I'm going to go do something about this. And he dedicated his life to doing something about it. I mean, he had his own personal vendettas along with it, and what he may have done may not have been right. But when faced with the reality of history, he didn't sit there and go, well, we niggas, and we always gonna be niggas.
Right. And I think a lot of black people, they don't even realize it is I forgot the word for it because epilepsy, but it's subconscious. There you go. And on a subconscious level, motherfuckers want to be held up so they can have the excuse to go, well, this is why I don't have a degree. This is why I don't have a good job. This is why I can't attain this. I can't attain that because the white man's always keeping me down. And it's like, yes, to a degree, I'm with you on that because I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not balling or anything. People think I'm doing well and everything. They got stay in a pretty cheap apartment in a pretty cheap part of town. So, but at the same time, I'm not going to let anything historically keep me from doing shit. But that also gets me in trouble a lot because historically, as a black male in America, I'm supposed to take shit. I'm supposed to just go to the job, and if they talk to me crazy, they just talk to me crazy, and I just clench it all up, and I come home, and I smoke, and I drink it away, and I never even, fuck, man, I used to be at Nike crying in the bathroom, like, I'm gonna kill one of these motherfuckers. and so that keeps me from being able to attain the kind of fortune that these people say they can't attain unless, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's just a whack way of thinking. It's just a whack way of thinking.
I'll say this about the movie. That's another important theme of Black Panther. It's black action. There wasn't a character in this movie that didn't go, this is something that needs to be done, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. It was a snap. It was a moment of thought, and then, all right, let's get to it. Let's figure out a way to do it.
Right. And I want to give props out to the portrayal of T'Challa with confronting his father's past transgressions.
Oh yes, that scene was wonderful. When he goes to the ancestral plane for the second time. Yeah. He straight up he's like, what you did was wrong. I cannot let this wrong continue. Absolutely.
And he created a monster. Wakanda created this. Wakanda, because of your neglect, you should have brought this kid home. You should have brought him home. He should have been given what was basically his birthright.
Absolutely.
You abandoned, and this is the whole metaphor of the movie about African Americans being abandoned by Africa, and that's a real thing.
It really is, and people don't like to admit that because if people, this is what I love about the quote unquote hoteps is that they really think Africans really like us like that.
Right.
They don't. Most of the time, Africans are going to be more critical of Black Americans because of the things they come from over in Africa and in the different countries that they come from. Because it's not like Africa as a continent isn't continuously in turmoil.
Right. And see, it's because of the whole historical narrative of when white people came to the African continent, they just went in and started kidnapping people and made them slaves. Mm-hmm. When in actuality, slaves existed on the continent long before white people arrived.
Slavery as an idea had already been around for thousands of years. I think the big difference, and I've always told people this, especially white people that love to bring this shit up, the difference is that before it was more or less an economic idea. Slavery was just some shit that happened. All right, you lost a war. Sorry, homie, you got to be a slave. Sorry. You want to die or you want to be a slave? All right, you got a choice. These folks were like, we're going to create an entire economic system around Black bodies. And we're going to treat them like machines instead of like humans.
Right. In Africa, slavery was political. That's we conquered you, you become our slaves. That's it. But those people weren't products. They were just what happens after some political shit happens.
Right. And you didn't have to lose your identity over it. That was the other thing. You didn't lose your identity.
When Muslim traders came in from the east, came in from the northwest, and they went, oh, well, you guys have these slaves. Well, we can use them, and we'll give you stuff. And that's when it really became like, oh, these aren't people anymore. They're commodities. We can trade them off for things.
Yep. And there goes the economic system of slavery.
Like, there it is.
I mean, and the funny thing is, it still very much goes on. It's just not as blatant in America as it was. Like, it's not a snatch and grab anymore. It's more of a, we're going to make it so that you have to come to us. You have to come to us, and you won't have any other choice. That was a big problem that I saw working with the staff companies here, the staffing companies here. The staffing companies here are essentially slave traders. Like, I'll just go ahead and say it. Fuck the bullshit. That's what they are, because they don't pay people enough. They shuffle people around, and they give no damn about your life. If you can't make it, fuck it, you're fired. And they'll just get somebody else. And so they've done that so well to now they've indoctrinated that kind of ideology in the workers. I tried to get a strike started at Nike, and the motherfuckers was like, no, we ain't striking, nigga. You crazy. What the hell wrong with you? I'm like, I don't think you understand. If all of y'all don't show up to work, Nike don't make no money. And then you can ask Nike for whatever the hell you want. And Nike gonna give it to you because they don't have no choice at that point. They want to get boxes out, don't they? And we're in a hub too. But they didn't want to hear it because they had already had that slavery shit indoctrinated in them.
The South is still real bad on that. The South makes sure that labor unions aren't a thing. Like, Mississippi doesn't even.
Fuck that whole state. I'm sorry. I do not like the state of Mississippi. I like Alabama more than I like Mississippi.
Do not apologize for saying fuck Mississippi. As a Mississippian, fuck Mississippi.
Yeah, that's like a theme of every show that we have. I'm pretty sure like that's the quote of the entire show, right? Right, Keem? At some point in every episode, you say "fuck Mississippi."
Chris Rock has Chris Rock's latest special. He has one of the funniest fucking denouncements of Mississippi ever.
I saw that shit. It was hilarious.
The thing about religions is they have the same. They all have the same thing. They say God doesn't make mistakes, but God does make mistakes. And he goes, Mississippi, mistake. M-A-K-E. It's he goes off of Mississippi. Like if you guys haven't, if you still riding the Black Panther wave, go watch Chris Rock's stand up on Netflix.
I actually watched it the day I went to see it the first time because it had just came on Netflix, and I told myself I was going to have a super black day, and so I watched him and Richard Pryor, and I think I watched like 5-6 episodes of Living Single before I went to go see Black Panther. It was very
going.
And then I had sex with a black woman later, and it was great. I had a very black day. It was great. It was amazing. It was man, I love being black.
Back to the way T'Challa responded, like that whole, like I said, the scene with his father and him going, you know what? I'm going to go fix this. I have to go fix this. Like, you messed up. And I really like that in a society that worshiped their ancestors, he literally confronted his ancestors and went just like, no, y'all messed up. And that, once again, a lot of stuff speaks back to this country.
It really does.
We're having the issue now of literally the young people looking back at our ancestors and our parents and going, you fucked up.
Hell yeah, a lot of them are. Because I know me personally, I was kind of brought up to challenge what had already happened with the civil rights movement simply because a lot of the stuff was pacifiers. Like a lot of the stuff was straight pacifiers, and a lot of people didn't step up when they needed to. You dig what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they killed a lot. They killed off pretty much all of our leaders, but it's not like those leaders didn't have people behind them. And so it's like, who do you really get mad at? Do you get mad at the people that shot them down, or do you get mad at the people that didn't step up?
Right.
Because, and then when you did have people step up, you had a lot of people step up and take advantage of the miseducation of the black race. And
Jesse Jackson.
Say what?
I had a Jesse Jackson cough in my throat.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you had a lot of people come out of nowhere and do that and just use the black community. And it's funny because I thought white people invented the race card. Like the idea of the race card. I thought white people invented that shit. No. We invented that shit. And it's fucked up because we didn't mean to. It was an accident. Like, on the whole, it wasn't us. But when you have people that are constantly misusing history to try to prove a point or get some money out of a company or just to be a dick, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate drug dealers that tell me they can't do shit else because the man. I'm like, nah, dog. I sold weed too, bro. It's other shit you can do. In fact, you know a lot better math than you think you do. There's probably a lot of jobs you can do really well. Pharmaceutical tech would definitely be one of them. So
you convert ounces into grams. I can't do that shit, and I'm in law school.
You ain't
I say they out here converting ounces into grams, and I can't do that. I'm in law school.
Hey, real quick, 28 grams, 1 ounce. But
good to know it.
Just in case you need to know that at some point in life, 28 grams equals 1 ounce. So there you go.
See, my kind of hobby has me converting milliliters into fluid ounces.
Oh God. Oh God.
I know. You want to see my hobby? You want to see my hobby? We're on a video call for those listeners so that we can do this. You ready? I'm into fountain pens now.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's a whole thing. I'm buying like liquid ink. It's a whole thing. It's super fun. I like it.
That's so funny. Now you need a T-shirt that says "My new drug is fountain pens."
Yeah. No, no. So you don't even understand. I bought a fountain pen cleaning kit. Right? You know what a fountain pen cleaning kit consists of?
No idea.
So it's a bottle of like it's a like pen flush, right? It's like a cleaning solution in case your pen is too bad. A bulb syringe or a bulb like thing, and like 2 just like legit like medical syringes. And some like little vials. Like this looks like drug paraphernalia. It really, really does. It really
Either
does.
that or you're a diabetic.
I know, right? It's a whole thing. Like
Funny story. The first time I ever saw THC oil was in a syringe, and it came in a pack with some shatter that I had also never seen before. Didn't know what the hell it was, and so I'm looking at this shit, and I open it. It's like kind of like the gum wrapper paper. It's like shiny on the outside.
Yeah.
So I open this up, and I see this shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look at the syringe. And I look at the dude that I'm getting the shit from. I'm like, are you trying to sell me fucking heroin? I'm like, that looked like black tar right there. Isn't that what they call the shit? Black tar heroin? He's like, nah, dude, let me explain. So yeah, that was scary.
We don't do that here.
No. We don't do that dog food here. No, sir. We don't do the dog food. No, sir. If you sell that shit, fuck you. If you're a friend of mine and you sell that shit, eat a dick. Don't call me no more.
Yeah.
We do not support that kind of behavior.
I object to the phrase "eat a dick," like as a bad thing. I just object to that.
Well, not suck a dick is usually what is said, and it's like, all right, I can see how you would, but when I say eat a dick, I'm talking about a severed, been there, nasty, rancid motherfucker. I'm talking about some shit you wouldn't want to put in your mouth.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah,
I understand your context.
Usually it comes in some sort of flavor, like eat a bag of bagel dicks, or like...
That's my consistent. Eat a bag, maybe what I say.
Yeah.
That's
salted baby dicks.
Oh my God.
You know.
Stop talking.
These are the things that you say to people that really deserve it. Like,
Lord, I'm just glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, no. See, I have to keep. My profanity has gotten really PG lately because I work in a school and I have a whole thing about profanity in my classroom, and I'm just like, no. So I'll say things like "go dig a hole," like no reason, like just go dig a hole for no reason.
That is amazing. I love it. I'm going to use that now.
Yeah, like
I'll bring next week. I'll bring back your profanity.
Yeah, I know.
Go dig a hole. Go dig a hole.
Go
That's
dig a
awesome.
hole.
Oh, Frankenstein. Oh,
What?
that was me saying fuck at an elementary school. Oh, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yeah.
Oh, Frankenstein.
Yeah. I have introduced my students to the profanity that's used in The Good Place. And so now that's just what they use.
Oh, that's great. Wait, do you have like seasonal cuss words too? Be like, oh, frankincense and myrrh, God.
No.
Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree.
Oh, Christmas tree. The latest one that my students have been on is shiitake mushrooms.
Oh, that's always fun when you discover that.
Yeah.
God bless the Japanese.
Yeah.
You one is Bob Saget.
Yeah. You say that all the time.
That one will get you beat up though. That one, because all you need is the wrong little boy to think you calling him a faggot. And that's going to be a problem right there. Bob said, "What'd you say?" Boom. And that's a whole different story right there.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Black Panther.
Yeah.
Off-topic podcast.
We knew that this is what this was going to be. Like, this is like 60% us talking about Black Panther and 40% us BSing. And we knew that was what it was going to be. Wait, what?
I will say, Rico may have noticed this. I know you didn't, but because you're not this nerd, you're not this kind of nerd. Rico, did you check out Killmonger's quote-unquote costume?
Yes, and I totally saw the Vegeta shit. Yes, I did. I saw it before they put it online. I was just like, does he have on Saiyan armor?
I thought the same thing. I was like, he's wearing Saiyan armor. And then when they put it online, I was like, he really was wearing Saiyan armor. Jesus.
That's off the chain.
I am not this kind of nerd. I have like very small... I'm only like vaguely aware of what you're talking about.
Oh man.
We talked last week about how important Dragon Ball Z was to like black people.
Absolutely, dude. There's an entire generation of black kids now that grew up on anime, and anime was one of the things that allowed them to kind of be different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're what, 30?
I'm 29.
All right.
About to be 20.
All right, so we're the same age. So you remember back when, like, if you weren't, you know, a cookie cutter version of like 5 different black dudes, then you were automatically weird. Like, that shit was and then it kind of like, it transformed those cookie cutter people into different types of cookie. Like, I saw a buddy of mine online the other day, and you could tell he's one of these like nerds that really doesn't get out of the house too much. And he's like, oh, so when did watching anime become popular? I don't even want to watch the shit no more. And I'm like, dude, don't get mad at some shit you created.
Right.
I'm like, that'd be like me getting mad at black kids listening to rock music and skateboarding. Like, I did that shit, and I did it with like the few other black kids that I could. And we will go around the hood doing the shit. It was a group, and we had to as a group, because you couldn't be a lone black skateboarder in the hood. That shit didn't work. You was gonna get jumped immediately. Like, yeah. So, but of course, I'm sure there were kids that were, you know, not able to get out of the house, or not old enough to really realize it, and they saw us and was like, wow, that's cool. And they grew up and became, those kids now. And so I can't get mad at those kids. And so I told them, I'm like, man, chill out, dude. Like, yes, anime is mainstream black culture now. Yes, get over it. There are black furries and black cosplayers. Black people learning Japanese more than usual nowadays. Like,
and look, not only are we doing it, we're doing it successfully.
Mm-hmm.
And people will love it. That's why.
Hell yeah.
That's one of the funniest things is a lot of black dudes like your friend right there. Everybody is losing it over Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of black guys going, oh, so y'all like him, but when I was down into that stuff, I wasn't popular.
Okay, man. First of all, let me go ahead and say this to those guys out there that's listening to this podcast and agree with that shit, bruh. She couldn't have had Michael B. Jordan. Sorry. She couldn't have had Michael B. Jordan. It was not going to work. Michael B. Jordan been acting, okay, and going to college and learning shit and learning scripts. He hadn't just been sitting at his house all day playing DBZ, all right? Like your ass has been for the last, 10, 15 years. You need to stop, bro. Get out there and get you some passion. Get you something to do out there. Get sexy, bro. Do something, take care of yourself. Shit.
I tell you, bro, but it's not the anime that they didn't like. It's you.
Exactly. Like my homeboy that said this shit, my homeboy every bit of 300 some odd pounds. Big boy. Now, and I'm not shaming fat folks. I'm not exactly small myself. But it's like, bro, you can't be getting mad at women liking anime dudes now and not liking you. Bro, you didn't take care of yourself on top of a slew of other things. And then it just happened to be the time in the world where anime wasn't cool. So it's all that plus. It's not that they just hopping on, whatever. I don't care. I remember when dreadheads wasn't shit. You had to have remember when you had to have waves?
That's still a thing.
What? What is?
You do not know the number of kids, my kids, right, my guys, who are so concerned about what their hair is doing.
No, but like it used to be like you had to have the shortcut with the line, with the waves and everything. Now you can do, you can have long hair now, but you still got to have it lined up. Yeah. And you still got to be chopped up right and everything. If you got dreads like mine, they'll be, oh, he got the natty dread, he got the Rasta dreads. But that's sexy now, though. So
curl into your hair, curl into your hair, and getting sleeping with a do-rag on and try to get your waves on point. I remember that life.
Look, we all remember that life.
They still do it. It's a thing. They still do it.
I ain't got to worry about shit because I don't have any hair.
See, and I'm going to tell you why them kids still do it, because that fucking can of Murray's pomade, that shit don't go away. That shit don't go away. That shit, you pass that shit down from generation to generation, because no one man in one lifetime can use that shit.
Look, I'm gonna tell you some shit. This is gonna be a black styling tip for the people who ain't got hair but has facial hair. That Murray's works hella good for styling your beard.
Okay.
You mix a little bit of that with some tea tree oil. It'll keep your shit moisturized and all over the place. It'll keep you nice and straight.
Right on. So to all the guys that love anime and think girls don't like them because of it, there you go. There's some style tips for you right there. Murray's pomade, tea tree oil, get that beard game straight. Go outside too, bro. Go outside.
Yeah.
Get some vitamin sun.
Also, this is the black nerd thing. All right. If you have anime that they don't like you, there are plenty of people in general. But for the straight guys, so you straight guys saying this, there are plenty of women who are into anime and who are into nerdy shit, they are right there. I've seen them cosplaying and stuff all the time.
And I'm talking about big, small, short, tall, black, white, the whole spectrum. I've seen it. It's a beautiful thing, really. Like, I'd have met someone that was so into it, I couldn't keep up. Straight up, I was like, hey, look, I'm like Dragon Ball Z through like the Cell Saga. I don't know shit else. Like, I seen 3 episodes of One Punch Man. I heard about Full Metal Alchemist. It sounded dope. That's pretty much me talking about anime. Like, I'm not an anime guy, but I won't not watch the shit though. It looks cool, but I'm not just like. My
other part, especially when it comes to comics, I can't be beat by most people. But when it comes to like anime and stuff, oh no, she got me beat.
Yep.
Like,
and you all start talking about it, and I just sit back like y'all are speaking Chinese. I have no clue.
When Esme is around and me and Lavi are like talking about anime and stuff, Esme has a complete look of bewilderment. It's like,
I just check out. I'm like, nope. Like, I love you both dearly, but I have no clue.
The gift I ever got her was the 7 Dragon Balls.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I've always wanted all 7 Dragon Balls.
Gotta get that wish.
Telling you, man. Look, look. I'm trying to catch them all. That's right, Pokemon style.
Mm-hmm.
But,
also, I was going to say another thing about Black Panther.
You got to be one of them entitled as hell ass people. Yeah, he had that entitled prince syndrome. Like, how many people just going to walk up in a country they've never been to, even though they're from it? They just walk up in the country like, hey, by the way, my daddy was T'Chaka's brother. I'm of royal blood. I want the throne. Give it to me now.
It's like, I do love the when he gets in there and it's like, hey, and reveals.
Oh my God, that was the greatest scene. Because like you could see almost the disgust on Angela Bassett's face to find out that she has any kind of lineage that links to an ignorant Black American. You know what I mean? Like, just the look on her face was just like, oh shit, no, not this, anything but this. Like, that's like I can imagine that's like what happens when like white fathers that are really racist find out their daughter has been dating a black dude for like 3 years.
As someone who has experienced that, yes, that is the face.
It is the okay, cool. Just making sure. No, actually, we've both experienced that one. So yeah.
And see, but that was another one of those instances where you kind of slip away from the quote unquote good guys in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your reaction should not have been utter disgust. Your reaction should have been, well, oh shit, we got it out. And I mean, the child's reaction was, oh shit, we got to figure this out. Because like he went to it and was just like, okay, let's not make a scene. We can figure this out.
Right. He was sitting there like, bro, the only reason I'm not killing you like these people want me to is because I know who you are. So let's just chill for a second. Let me introduce you to this country and shit, and let's figure it out.
But see, honestly, I don't think. God damn it.
Go on, that's all good.
I don't think the Wakanda would have allowed it. Like, just getting from the way they acted in the movie, I don't think they would have allowed it. Like, I don't think they would have allowed him just sitting down and going, hey, shit out.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about a monarchy is that sometimes motherfuckers gotta listen.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the cool part about being king and not president. Is that sometimes when you say the shit, they gotta listen, and you just gotta be cool with it. Like, I don't like this, but you are king and shit, so I mean, it's almost like being. I imagine being king of somewhere is almost like being a parent. Like, you know, your kid, you're like, why do I gotta do this? You're like, because I said so. Now do it.
You're the parent of an entire.
Yeah.
Oh God, that sounds terrible. The parent of an entire country.
That sounds like a whole lot of work and not a lot of fun at all.
Yeah.
But that was also why T'Chaka said in the first ancestral plane scene that it's hard for good men to be kings.
Yeah.
It's hard for good men to be, because sometimes you got to do bad shit. And, you know?
Speaking of those ancestor scenes, the first scene that really made me tear up, because there were two scenes that made me tear up, and the very end was the last one. But the first scene that made me tear up was Killmonger, and going to the ancestral lands.
Yeah, when he met back up with his father and he like turned into a kid again.
Mm-hmm.
Because like paired up with T'Challa goes and he sees all of his ancestors and they're transforming into Panthers, and like you got this regal thing, like it's connected. When he comes out, he's all happy because his father was there and he had this connection to his past, and he knows exactly what everything means and what he's supposed to do and what he's supposed to do. Killmonger completely disconnected. He doesn't see his ancestors. He doesn't see his ancestral homeland. All he has is his father and memory. Mm-hmm. And that speaks back to the connection to Killmonger and Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors, all we have is the connections we like have here. Like all we have is our close family. We don't have that ancestral connection.
And you know, I found it funny. Well, not funny. I saw Chadwick Boseman. He was on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about you know that they do the DNA test now. He's like, so Charlamagne was like, you know, what do you think, you know, people need to do it. He's like, well, actually, with Black people, you know, we probably shouldn't use anything like Ancestry.com or anything like that, because all they're going to tell us is that we're from Africa. We already know that. Now they have another site called AfricaAncestry.com that will actually pinpoint you to like exact cultures and tribes that you come from. And this way you really get to learn more about your true culture than just knowing, oh, I'm from Africa. Because every Black person in America can be traced back to Africa. That's just what it is. But none of us can go, okay, I'm from the blah, blah, blah tribe. I'm from this tribe. We spoke this language. We had these cultures. You know, I'm sure most of the people that saw Black Panther didn't even realize the different cultures represented on the council. Like you had homeboy with the plate lip. You had homegirl with the clay dreads. You had dude that took care of all the rhinoceri, I think is the plural for rhinoceros. But yeah.
We're going.
Yeah. But but yeah, and all of those came from different cultures inside Africa. It wasn't just, oh, they're African. It's their this and this and this and this and this. And I think it's definitely something that, honestly, I think all Black people should do if they get a chance, if they get the opportunity to. Because just going, oh, blah, this much sub-Saharan African. Okay. Duh. Like, now tell me more. And, no. So, shout out to AfricaAncestry.com.
Put the link in the show notes.
I haven't had the money to do any of those, but I've been wanting to. mostly because my mom had like all the accounts of family history. And my mom actually like was pretty legit, knew like a lot of like ancestry stuff. But of course, my mom passed away, so I don't have that access anymore. So
right.
But yeah, that actually brings me to another thing I wanted to like commend the movie for. They presented Wakanda, though, like Wakanda, at least minus the Jabari, they were essentially a united people, but they were very distinct people. Like each group was distinct. Each group had their own culture, had their own traditions, own customs, but they operated as one country.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Which and all, if you really want to, let's go ahead and take it deep. Wakanda was almost like a peaceful version of what America should be. Just saying.
Like in the comics, they actually kind of they make that more clear. Wakanda is the envy of America. Like most of the conflict that does arise between Wakanda and the United States, which isn't much, honestly, because they know not to fuck with them.
Yeah.
A lot of the conflict that does rise is because the U.S. is very much like, this is what we should be. They're doing it better than us, and we don't like it.
Isn't that the reason why we do like half of the shit we do across the world?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, hey, we should be doing that shit. We gonna do that shit. In fact, we gonna steal it from you.
Needs a Claw. Claw is, if there's never been a greater representation of the history of white people than Ulysses Claw.
Absolutely. The joke in the joke in the casino when he walks in and Martin Short's like, oh, would you have to drop a mixtape or something? Oh yeah, I'll get some SoundCloud link if you like. I fell the fuck out. I fell out.
Claw is straight up cultural appropriation, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Like, I mean, it's like the sweetest, most 100% pure, just appropriation. Like, it doesn't like. It's almost like Mississippi racism. It doesn't get much more pure than that. Like, it's just, God damn you, man! Just everything about you.
He's so jealous of Wakanda. Like, they shouldn't have this vibranium. Clearly, way more advanced than anyone else, but they're savages. They are savages. They don't deserve these riches and all this stuff. I do. This literally dirty dude. Just
not only dirty, but Australian. That's not even like the good white, man. That's like the dirty, dirty, evil white they put way down somewhere to get rid of. Like, I'm sorry. I really went too far with that. No offense to the people of Australia or New Zealand. I love y'all.
Australian viewers. Listeners.
We should get some Australian listeners. Why don't we have any of those yet?
You're about to have some in a second. Watch.
I know. No. The problem is that we still only have like 100 likes on our Facebook page. We don't have any listeners.
we got to do something about that, man. I got to start posting on more. Because people love seeing my shit, so I'm just like, hey, listen to everybody else's. All I'm doing is talking shit and trying to see who's racist on Facebook.
That's always the fun game.
Yeah, I play it on the Negro Terror page all the time. Omar gets mad at me sometimes for doing it. Because I'll just like post stuff that I know for a fact is gonna like trigger the more racist punks, but they don't realize they're racist. They're just, why can't everything? The all lives matter motherfuckers.
Ugh.
The blue lives matter motherfuckers. Those are the people I'm trying to draw out. And every once in a while, I put something up and I look at our friends or I look at our followers or whatever. And like 3 hours later, we've lost like 5 followers, 6 followers. And then like in 2 days, we regain them again. It's like, okay, so we got rid of the bullshit, and we brought in some new. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I have been off of Facebook lately, and part of it is because Facebook redid how they like show people, like how they show stuff in your feed. And for some reason, because I interact so much on your threads, like they just show me all of your shit from everything.
Oh, on my threads?
Yeah. Like everything, like my entire Facebook like feed is like Rico and Negro Terror. And I'm like, and that's great, but you're being really incendiary lately. And so like you'll post a thing and then I'll catch it like 6 hours later and I read through the comments and I'm like, all right, Facebook, we're done for a couple more days. Like, see you 3 days from now.
It's so funny because like it's hilarious how much people really take what I say to heart. Like half of it is jokes, half of it is me just really trying to pull you out. Like,
and then there's that one guy. There's that one guy who like posts he responds to everything. I've argued with him before.
Oh, Joel?
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you about Joel. Joel is just a friend of mine from high school that loves fucking with people. Yeah. He loves fucking, like, he's gonna say the most incendiary thing he can say just to get you to respond like uber liberally. Yeah. Like he loves doing, because like we'll be talking about it while he's doing it. He's like, dude, these motherfuckers are mad, ain't they? I'm like, dude, you knew what you was doing.
The thing though is every time I engage with him, I am doing the same thing but in reverse. So he and I are having like a huge troll battle, but we both know what we're doing.
And I love it.
Yeah, like if he says something that really pisses me off, I don't respond to it. But like if I'm arguing with him, like I know exactly what I'm doing. Like we're like just being the most extreme versions of what we can do.
Like he's very much not because he's really from Raleigh. He's a little hood ass white dude from Raleigh, but he's grown up now and so it's. But that's my guy though. I love him to death because he always brings out the people that I really don't want to have on my friends list anyway. I'm like, Joel, just do your job, man. Just do your damn job. I'll do the deleting. Just do your damn job.
I'll do the rest.
Right. He's kind of like my Martin Short. He's my Martin Short. Freeman Short, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't care.
So I told Keem this. You know the problem with Martin Freeman in that movie, in Black Panther, is he's not believable at all as an American CIA agent because he's too fucking British.
Yeah, he
was just a British guy with an American accent. Like he was not believable at all as a CIA agent.
He was just a smart ass. Like that's it.
But he's what? He realized it.
He's what, Keem?
I said he's a smart ass that quickly realized his place.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he woke up in the lab and saw where he was just like, well, y'all in charge.
Yeah.
To speak about that scene, this is how awesome Wakanda is to me because even the hospital garbs are fresh in Wakanda.
Yeah.
Like that man woke up dressed to death. I was like, what the shit? All he missing is some sandals.
He's like, what is silk? What? I'm just caressed by just niceness. What? They don't have this in America. CIA and this ain't.
Right. Like, you go to an American hospital, they get you that little paper ass gown that's all open in the back and shit. Like you can't even walk around the hospital right, you know. And I've been in the hospital many times, so that shit ain't comfortable. But I would love to go to a hospital in Wakanda.
I'm not going to happen in any of like the Avengers movies, probably. But I want Tony Stark in Wakanda. I want Stark to go to Shuri's lab and be like, "Well, fuck."
I think it's going to happen. And I'm going to laugh real hard at Robert Downey Jr.'s ass.
Wakanda is years ahead of anything Stark has done so far. And first thing he's gonna do is he's gonna go in and immediately realize that shit, they've outdone me, and then he's gonna start fanboying. Like he's gonna be in love.
Oh, him and Shuri gonna be like this. They gonna be homies. Like they are gonna be good friends because she's a smart ass, he's a smart ass, but she's actually smarter than he is.
Yeah.
So it's like, aha, you're a smart ass, but I'm the smarter ass. So, speaking of, colonizer is the greatest word in the world right now.
I'm using it. Been so many.
That was when he realized he was not in charge anymore. He was like, okay, that's what this is.
Yeah.
And you see how quickly he tried to get mad for a second, then he realized, like, oh, wait.
Yeah. Yeah, but like when he woke up, he was still walking around trying to like be in charge and like tell me where I am and what is this. And then she pulled that on him and he was like, okay, we're done. And we're done.
When they went to M'Baku, and first after he spoke out of turn and he got balked at,
yeah,
which was the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah,
like, isn't your world? You shut the fuck up when grown folks is talking. Like that was a Black Dynamite. Like, just shut the fuck up when grown folks is talking. But like when it was time to bow down, he was just like, "Okay, I'm getting down."
Yeah.
Like, also, man, like M'Baku, the man ape. I'm calling it man ape, even though he wasn't man ape in the movie. That was a cool role.
Yeah.
It really was. It really was. It was a very, yeah, he was very strong, and it still showed the respect the Jabari tribe had for the rest of Wakanda, even though they still had ideological differences. Mm-hmm. And they still, had a history of, like when he was like, oh, you're the first king to come up here in centuries, and all of a sudden now you want to be homies all of a sudden. It's like, yeah, but who you think they're going to mess with next? He's like, we haven't fucked with y'all. We let y'all be. If he gets this shit popping, like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think he's not going to come for y'all and make y'all get untowed? Because at the end of the day, Killmonger was about to pimp the entire black populace of the world into doing his bidding. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was just when he showed up on the Warrior grounds, man. When he showed up, it just snatched little dude up from the back, just held him up. I was like, yeah.
The dude he was shitting himself. Like, I
mean, what else can you do when somebody snatches you up by your collar from the back? Not from the front, where you looking them in the eye, from the back. You don't even know who the hell behind you.
I'm a grown man, and another nigga done picked me up like I wasn't nothing and just hollering as he's holding me. I'm done. Like,
yeah, I give up, bro. I surrender. Like, motherfucking, oh my God. Yeah, I'm through.
It made me a child. I can't do this shit. No, I'll quit.
What's my man Kenny Rogers saying? Got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. I fold, motherfucker. I fold.
Out of Wakanda at that point, just I'm going somewhere. I can't do this. This is not my life.
I mean, what else can be said when a man just, and the fact that he understood that was going to happen, that the Jabari tribe was not going to be safe just because they were in the mountains. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you've been safe so far, but this is a whole different animal that you're going to have to deal with right now. This is a whole different thing. So, last thing you want to do is it was almost comparable to America joining World War II. Mm-hmm. It was like, except for they were more on point than America was. We had to wait till the fucking Japanese bombed us. But they weren't waiting. They were like, fuck that shit. They already fucked up this one guy. We had to save him.
Right.
We ain't doing that shit again.
So we've been talking about what we liked about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring up some stuff that I did have some problems with.
Break it down for me.
I mean, these are actually not story problems, really. Well, a little story problem. One, at times the computer generated graphics looked real cartoony.
They did.
I think honestly the Black Panther Golden Jaguar fight at the end pushed it a little too far. Like it was just like maybe I should have backed off the computer graphics a little bit.
But what else was you gonna do though? Like what else was you possibly gonna do? Like they could have did some like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type shit.
But see, that fight actually leads to my second big problem, and this is why it's instead of 10. Marvel has this problem in their origin story movies that the villain is just an evil version of the hero. In Iron Man, he basically got an evil Iron Man. Red Skull was just evil Captain America, down to the same serum.
Yeah.
Loki is basically just evil Thor. Unfortunately, so, but the evil mirrors to the hero. Even in Ant-Man, it's like same thing. And they could have avoided that. Like Killmonger had the potential of being a villain that was different. Like everything was there. Got down to the end, they stuck him back in that Black Panther suit and made him a dark version of the hero. And that was a huge problem. You've set this character up to be different. You did. Like this was probably the most nuanced villain Marvel has ever had. Like they had the possibility of doing something different. But
what could they have done then?
I have no idea. But I mean, even even having him have something else that wasn't that Black Panther suit.
Honestly, I like the fact that they had two different ones.
I mean, yeah, I like that idea.
And it showed that, to me anyway, it showed the fact that Killmonger had the flashier one, that the Golden Jaguar one. It said a lot to me on how different their approaches at being Black Panther would be. Like you got T'Challa's initial design, which is, very sneaky and everything, very, cut out. And then you got his sister's new design that, builds up the kinetic energy and disperses it and all that other good stuff, which is amazing. On top of the fact that he doesn't have to put on a helmet. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, it's more, it's sneakier. It's sneakier. Like the sneakers that she has. That was so funny. Guess what I called them? Sneakers. But the fact that he chose the Golden Jaguar suit, probably because it was the only one around at that point, said a lot about what he was going to be as a king. He wasn't trying to hide shit. He just wanted to show out. And who shows out? When people show out, what do they wear? Do they wear platinum or do they wear gold?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you really trying to show out? Like, platinum was cool, like, in the late 90s. But if you're really trying to show out in the world, just period, you get gold. And you get gold everywhere.
Here's my thing, though. I would have liked it either if, like, they would have done something different, just to switch up that Marvel formula, or they had T'Challa fight him without the Black Panthers, like without T'Challa having the suit. When Killmonger had T'Challa not having the suit, that would have been cool because it would have been like T'Challa going, I don't need. This suit is not what makes me Black Panther.
Right.
Like this, is what makes me the hero. This suit is not. what I'm doing for my country is what makes me the Black Panther. I'm the king not because of this suit, not because of all this other stuff, but because of what I'm fighting for.
But then do you think realistically T'Challa could have won that battle without it?
See, that would have made the ending fight make more sense. He got him down in that hole and was making the suit shut off.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, shit, still, he would have had to survive that fall, though.
I mean, they could have worked out something to get him down in there, you know? But
well, there's a lot, because that's the reason I really didn't question too much of the CG, was because when you think about what the Black Panther is actually capable of without the suit and with the suit, it's night and day. It's night and day. Not saying that he's completely without powers without the suit. Of course, he's still, fast, strong, and all that other good stuff. But that suit does a lot. And it's a big reason why his ass is still alive.
And that's why it would have been like all the more like poetic if he would have fought him without the suit.
Well, we saw what happened without the suit. The nigga got killed. Well, almost.
Well, but like, I mean, I just like it could have been done. Also, I had a problem with the fact that Killmonger knew exactly how to work that fucking suit.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I did find that kind of weird.
Realize it would work the way it did, and then when he realized it was on, he was just like, I know everything about this. Like, T'Challa should, from knowledge of the suit alone, should have been able to beat the shit out of it.
Yeah.
That's like putting me in an Iron Man suit and telling me to fight Tony Stark.
Right. Like Tony's gonna win because he knows his own shit better. Right.
Or I mean that's always the difference between like the fight between War Machine and Iron Man. Iron Man usually wins, even though War Machine has technically the better armor with more weapons. Knows his shit better than War Machine does. Like that's how like it would have turned out but they had him fighting on par with T'Challa in that suit, and that should not have happened. Like he should not have had that same skill. Like he's a warrior now. Like all the training and stuff. He handed T'Challa his ass without the suit.
Yeah, he did.
But that suit, even that suit should have been an equalizer. Not even should have been equalized. That suit should have put T'Challa over the edge, even with him wearing the other suit, because he would not have known how to use it.
Well, I think that's where when they got into the caves and everything, and they started going under the tracks. I think that was a big part of them attempting to do that. Them attempting to go, okay, if we just have them fight with the suits, they're going to be fighting forever, and then eventually we're going to have to kill one of them, and it's not going to make any fucking sense. So instead of focusing on what Killmonger didn't know about the suit, they focused on what Killmonger didn't know about Wakanda and about vibranium by itself. Like he thought he knew everything. I went to MIT. But, at the end of the day, he'd never been to Wakanda. He had only heard about Wakanda. So he didn't know anything about the technologies that they had. He just knew vibranium's, the most precious metal in the world. You can do a million things with it. But just saying you can do a million things with it, you can't name all million. And so, you get down to the final fight scene where the suits are on and off and on and off. That's where you really get to see the idea of how ignorant Killmonger is to his own culture.
Honestly, I think he would not. The Dora Milaje should have kicked his ass.
Absolutely.
I don't even think he would have gotten to the fight with T'Challa. I think realistically, when they turned, they would have beat his ass, because he may have been skilled enough as one man to fight T'Challa one-on-one and beat him. But those women were trained just as much, because they were trained to be T'Challa's bodyguards.
And that says a lot when a motherfucker that's already a superhero got a bodyguard like harem. Not harem, but yeah. And
there was a whole bunch of them who had skills comparable to T'Challa.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't have the heart-shaped herb, though.
I'm still calling bullshit because Bucky was. I mean, he don't have the heart shape either.
Yeah, but Bucky been
Bucky's a dude.
Bucky been fucked with for years. Like,
Still though, Bucky was still fighting Black Panther pretty evenly.
I mean, oh wait, no, you're talking about Civil War, right?
Yeah.
All right, Bucky was fucking. Wasn't he like under a trance or something? Like he was like under a trance for half of it, and then when he finally got back, the nigga was just trying to survive. Not to mention he got Captain America right behind him, like constantly like knocking Black Panther back like one step every time he takes 10.
Side note, man, Wakanda, like being in, because Cap is gonna show up in Wakanda in Avengers: Infinity War. They've already shown that in the commercials. That's got to be like a hell of a wake up call. Like Cap is having a bad life because he went into World War II pre integration. So he wakes up in modern times. That had to be a shock.
Oh hell yeah!
But at least he's like, I'm Captain America and I got my shield. Then you lose your shield, and your shield is special because it's made out of vibranium, and this is the only vibranium on Earth. Then you show up in Wakanda, a nation of black people, with all the vibranium ever, way more than your shield. They can just make you 4,000-5,000 other shields and not even care. You just got to be. Ain't this some shit? Like,
if Captain America truly stood up like America does when Africa does some amazing shit, then I would be like, yeah, he's having a bad day. But I think I love the way they actually have Captain America and the way they write Captain America, because they write him like the America that we need. The one that doesn't really care about race, the one that doesn't really care, the one that just cares about doing the right shit. You know what I'm saying?
Cap is not like Captain America is not Captain America as it exists. Captain America is the idea of America. Like
right.
And that's, honestly, Captain America is my favorite superhero, and that like for those reasons, because like he's the guy that like when it comes down to like doing what's right and doing what's wrong, he's gonna always do what's right.
Yep.
No matter what. Like if it kills him, he's still gonna do what's right.
That's why his ass in Wakanda now.
If it means leaving the country, America has like denounced America a whole bunch. Anytime America fucks up, Captain America's like, I'm out.
Yeah, because we love using us. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as we fuck up, we grab the best out of us and go, okay, let's put that out to the rest of the world as America.
Right.
Like let's just pick somebody. I don't know, pick Fergie. I don't care. Just somebody, anybody. I don't care. Just pick somebody. Shit. As soon as we're fucking up across the board, and we've done it a lot. So.
And once again, I'm sorry, Esme, but this is a question you can't answer. So, all right, you got Killmonger out the way, and Manape is really on T'Challa's side by the end of the movie.
Uh-huh.
Those are real, and Claw is dead.
Yeah.
Those are really Black Panther's main three antagonists.
But there are more.
More, but they're big, No,
they're not, but they can become big now, because let's face it, let's be real about it. Outside of the nerd world, right? If we think about if you just think about comic books, period, all right? We've got household name comic book characters and villains, and then we got the ones we know about. Killmonger wasn't a household name until this came out. You know what I'm saying? Manape still isn't a household name simply because they took it out of the picture and made it a different thing, which I enjoyed.
Most of Marvel movies, other than X-Men and Spider-Man, like X-Men and Spider-Man were the only two real Marvel household names before the Iron Man movie came out. Most people, and Captain America,
yeah.
But most people,
and the Hulk.
Most people, and Hulk.
And the Hulk.
But most people didn't read Iron Man. didn't read Thor. No one knew who the fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy are.
And most of these
at
people
all.
have not read comic books. You got to remember that a lot of the people that are going to see these Marvel movies have never read a comic book before. They're going to see
They
it
don't
from
know
the
most of these
theatrical
characters.
shit.
So, I mean, most of these characters aren't household names. But here's my question, though. Who Black Panther 2, who's the villain?
You know what? Let me pop open this complete collection real quick because I know it's a good one in here. No, I bullshit you because I read this on the way to when I was on my way to California. I'm looking at like if you can see right here, he's kind of like a Mexican Panther. Like he's like White Panther almost. Like if you can see right there, if y'all can see what I'm saying. I know I can't see. I don't have a video thing on mine. If y'all say what?
Casper Cole, White Tiger, not White Tiger.
Let me look. Let me read a little bit.
In the comics, there.
Oh no, this is White Wolf. My bad. This is White Wolf.
Okay, before we go into this, I mean, that's going to be a problem with White Wolf. So in the comics, White Wolf is T'Challa's brother, adopted brother, who's a white dude who was taken in, who's like this like American dude whose family gets killed, and T'Challa takes him in, and he's raised with T'Challa, gets all the same training and stuff, but he can't. Yeah. He's basically a White Star.
Right.
The thing with White Wolf is White Wolf become like he's an enemy at times, but by the time it's over, White Wolf is loyal to his brother.
True.
The head, the Wakandan secret police. But the thing about that is, post-credit scene, they give us White Wolf.
Yeah, they give us Bucky as White Wolf.
Bucky is White Wolf, which is interesting that you have the implication that that Bucky has become kind of the white brother.
I really hope they don't do that shit, but I think they're going to.
So,
bastards.
With Bucky, or they're going to make Bucky Cap. Cap is going to die. I'm sorry.
Cap's gone.
Stark may also be dead.
If they make that little black girl Iron Man in the movies, I'm going to shit myself. I will be so happy.
But it would be awesome.
I will be so happy.
But so I actually have three ideas for antagonists for Black Panther, just because these three would make these movies ridiculous. First one, borrowing a villain from Spider-Man, Kraven the Hunter.
Ooh, good one. Okay.
A showdown, Kraven hunt Black Panther. You could have Kraven trying to reduce him down to where he's not dependent on the technology anymore, and excellent. Second one, this would be a good chance to introduce the Fantastic Four into Marvel's universe, but Doom. Because
Dr. Doom would be
one of my favorite Black Panther storylines is Doom War, where Black Panther and Dr. Doom go to war with each other.
Now, here's the question though: if you're gonna bring the Fantastic Four back in, you got to recast them.
Yeah, of course.
They've done two cast lineups that were just.
We're going to pretend those movies don't exist.
I still haven't seen the one with Michael B. Jordan in it, so.
It's garbage. It is actual garbage. It makes those other two Fantastic Four movies that were terrible look good.
Damn. That's,
all over. But what a lot of people also don't realize is Dr. Doom, and I hate going back to dark versions of heroes, but Doctor Doom and T'Challa are a lot alike. They're both like sovereign rulers of their country. Like Doom is just as obsessed with protecting Latveria as Panther is protecting Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing and having those two face off and having their countries against one another at war would be two things in Doom War that would really excite me. One, at the end of Doom War to defeat Doctor Doom, T'Challa makes all the vibranium in Wakanda inactive. And he has to deal with the ramifications of taking the thing that his country lives on and taking it away for its survival. And that would make for an excellent story.
That'd be an excellent couple of movies. That wouldn't just be one movie.
Right. And the second thing is Doom War dwells into T'Challa's mystical side because he realizes that his own power.
Right.
Can hold his own right there. So he has to go the mystical side. So he starts tapping into the Panther gods and he says some stuff. And it would be incredible to see T'Challa tap into that, especially when like you have Doctor Strange out there to show that not only is Wakanda like deeply involved in the tech side of things, but they can do the same stuff or similar stuff to the Mystics.
Right.
I think Doctor Doom would make an excellent antagonist to Black Panther sequels. And my third one.
All right, number 3.
Namor.
Who?
Namor the Submariner. And that's because in the comics, Namor and Black Panther get this rivalry that's so fucking intense, it's ridiculous. So in the comics, at one point, Namor floods Wakanda, killing millions.
Okay.
And T'Challa goes, and it also eventually leads to T'Challa not being king anymore.
Right.
So T'Challa basically goes, "I'm going to kill you. Like no matter what happens, I am going to rip your heart out." So in response, T'Challa gets Atlantis destroyed.
Damn.
So again, and so also during this time they have to work together. Like there's other things going on where they're having to work together. When this is over, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
So even after all that, while Wakanda's rebuilding after being flooded, Thanos comes to the planet and is looking for gems, and they ask him, they go to ask Namor, where's the Infinity Gem? And Namor goes, it's in Wakanda. Go fight him. And then Thanos goes and destroys Wakanda a second time.
Wait, isn't that going to happen in Civil War? Isn't he looking in the? Let's be real. The Soul Stone is in Wakanda. We know this.
And what a lot of people were posing that the heart-shaped herb, the power doesn't come from the vibranium. It comes from the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
Because the Soul Stone is purple.
Right.
But like Namor, they do this back and forth, basically trying to destroy everything about each other, to eventually T'Challa strands him on another planet and blows the fucking planet up.
Damn, that's some old Dragon Ball Z shit.
So, like, it won't happen, but just to have that rivalry in whatever manner on screen where you have these two kings going, we're going to fucking kill each other. We don't care what's going to happen. We're going to destroy each other.
I'd pay $8.50 to see that. I'd pay $8.50 to see that.
Like there are so many things they could do. Especially if they get Ryan Coogler back.
I think Ryan Coogler's got a very. I think he's pretty much got a chair at Marvel now. Yeah. They're just like, hey man, we need you. Just understand, like, here's the phone line. When that shit rings, bring your ass. Like,
this latest run of Marvel is pulling less, more like indie style directors for these movies, and it's working out great. Like Ryan Coogler, Taika Waititi.
You know why they're doing this, right? Because people are tired of seeing James Cameron and fucking what's the other dude that all the fucking Transformers movies?
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. I'm so tired of seeing Michael Bay action, and don't nobody want to see that shit in their favorite comic movie, man. We're tired of it. We're tired of it. We've seen Bad Boys 2. We get it. We saw Transformers. All right. Because it's something about the realism you get from those directors.
Those directors are willing to take chances. Like,
they are.
Those directors, they want to get their message across, and they're willing to take chances to do it. And that's what audiences want. Like, audiences want chances. Like, they want something new. They want to see their characters do something new. That's why I commend Guardians of the Galaxy.
Absolutely.
Because like that was completely different from what Marvel had been doing until that point. Winter Soldier and Civil War. Different movies than what Marvel had been doing. And even Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok hit a completely different note than the other two Thor movies.
It really did. Like, it was first of all, it was like way funnier. Like it was funny when it didn't even need to be funny. It was like the whole movie seemed like just a bit. It was very comical, but not in the wrong places. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it was a movie you could laugh at, because we all know, like, between Marvel and DC, Marvel are the movies that have more jokes, but. Like, this one was like just joke on joke on joke on joke. It was like, all right, guys, let's breathe a little bit, okay? We know shit's about to go down in Infinity War, and motherfuckers are gonna die. So let's be a little jovial for a second.
Hey guys, you better enjoy this, because we're about to ruin you for these next two movies. Like,
yeah, basically.
This movie and then a fucking. Like, everything you love will be destroyed. Like, thank you, Marvel. You gonna we know, because Thanos is about to come in and wreck shop, because that's what he does. Like,
I'm sorry. This is the way you said that. Should have me crack the fuck up.
So, guys. Anybody care to guess how long we've been on this?
I want to go about 2 hours, probably.
So my recording has been running for almost 2.5 hours.
Almost 3? That sounds about right.
All right. So should we wrap it up or something? Or?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we only get 3 hours of recording time anyway. Like, it's going to kick us off in 40 minutes. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys could go on for 40 more minutes. But also, I have to edit this shit this afternoon. So.
Okay, Keem. Final thoughts.
On Black Panther, if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Yes, go see it. And then go see it again. And then go see it again.
If you bootleg it, I will come to your house and I will slap you.
You see, this is why I love Marvel, because I've been a cheap man until Black Panther. The good bootlegs don't come out for like another 2 months anyway. And by that time, the DVD will be on the way. So it's like, why even do it? Just go to the fucking movies. Just go to the fucking movies.
Go see the movie. If you got kids, take your kids. White folks, go see the movie.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Because I was in Midtown. There was plenty of old white folks in there having a good time.
Yep.
That's the thing. Go see it.
Yes. Single white gun-toting males. If you're upset, just don't.
Just don't.
Just see it another day. Just see it. Don't fuck shit up for us. No. I was already afraid enough the first time I saw it.
Wait till it comes out on Netflix.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea.
Yeah.
I can't lie, but the first time I saw it, me and my friend were in there. We were like on point security, like looking at like everyone that walked in, like every single white male that walked in. We were like, all right, watch that motherfucker. Watch that motherfucker. Let's do a visual pat down. He got anything on him? All right.
Side note, for people upset with Black Panther, and this is my final note on it. Side note, people were upset with it. Whether you the hoteps who are upset with Black Panther because whatever the fuck your problem is, the crazy ass white people who are just Black Panther is black just ruins your day. The DC fans that are mad anytime Marvel has successful movies.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Rico's face.
Just stop. Just go home. Have a drink. Stay away from the computer. Get your phone down. Smoke some weed if that's your thing. And leave shit alone. If you don't want to watch it, fine. You got a problem with it, fine. But if I see one more goddamn think piece and Breitbart on why Black Panther is the worst movie ever and it's going to sink America into the pits of communist damnation, I swear I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
Agreed 1000%. Oh my God, agreed so much. Much.
All right. I guess is that it?
I think that's it.
Yeah. You got anything to follow up with us?
I think we're done.
I think we're done.
All right. Go see Black Panther.
Yes.
Go see out now.
Right. And also, don't forget to go check out Negro Terror on Bandcamp, the bootleg, out now.
Yes. Links in the show notes. Again, some more.
I gotta be an attention whore for a hot second. So
no, that's all right. We're gonna put your music in this episode. No, we don't need any music in this episode. By the way, I don't think we're gonna do any other segments in this episode on account of we've already gone half an hour longer than our episode usually is.
No news?
No news, no sex, just Black Panther for 2.5 hours.
Black Panther, baby. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, there's no sex segment this week, which will return in our next episode.
Yes, it sure will.
It should be episode 50, which should be I don't know what the hell we're doing for episode 50, but that's a big episode. So we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun no matter what it is. Rico for joining us. It was great as always. Having him on. Love the music he always gives us.
Yep.
If you haven't, I mean, those guys are coming up, and you need to be on that train as it's going. Yeah, go check out Negro Terror. Like I said. Trying to think of what else. Oh, I want to bring up before we ended the show. Was in Mississippi. Recently, Starkville, Mississippi. Mississippi, the home of Mississippi State University. Just to allow have their first Pride Parade.
Woo.
They refused to let it happen.
Oh, fuck. What?
City Council voted it down, despite public even had people saying that it should be allowed because God made Adam and Eve. Steve, as that old adage says, are not allowing a parade to go on. So there's organization happening now. They're bringing the ACLU in. But like I said, Mississippi viewers, please go show some support for the LGBTQIA plus community in Starkville as they fight for their ability, chance to have their pride parade. Them being denied was travesty, especially considering the city has not denied any other requests.
Yeah.
In the city, including from white supremacists. So
that's some bullshit.
And if I can, I'm going to post links to the people that are organizing. Some people to send me more information. Listeners, go out and you can. People do whatever kind of support you can for the people in Starkville, Mississippi, to help them fight this ridiculous ass because it's horrible. It's not right.
Yeah.
That's my. As always, if you're a musician, would like to have your music featured on the show, please let us know. We love to have you on. If you somebody who want to come in and talk, you want to come sit in Rico's chair for an episode, love to have you on. For episode 50.
Yeah, we have an artist. We have an artist interview for episode 50.
Oh yeah, we do. So
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Stay tuned next week for an interview with Jarif Green, who was our musical guest a couple weeks ago. He has his album release party coming out, so we're gonna sit down and talk with him next week about his music and about other stuff and about all sorts of stuff.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
I guess that brings us to the end of our show.
Yep.
Always. This has been Keem and Esme, and we are out.
But there are these things that matter, and they really fucking matter. There's like 4 things that matter, and they really fucking matter. I mean, objectively, I mean, you should care, especially you, if you thought about it for 5 fucking minutes.